I position the crystal wine glasses exactly 2 inches away from each dinner plate, precisely how Mother prefers them. The afternoon sunlight streams through the dining room windows of her Cranston residence, hitting the crystal and casting small rainbows across the white linen. Lovely. Flawless. Draining. My spine throbs from working consecutive shifts all week at the care facility. 12 hours of organizing patient treatment, handling family disputes, and dealing with insurance complications. Still, here I remain, buffing cutlery that already sparkles. The telephone chimes. I dry my hands on a kitchen towel and pick up. Elise, is everything prepared? Mother's tone carries the effortless command I've recognized my whole life. Beyond her words, I detect giggles and the sound of ice clinking in glasses. Her Savannah getaway sounds wonderful. Nearly done arranging the table. Excellent. Actually, I've been reconsidering. Switch to the burgundy napkins rather than the ivory ones. They'll match the floral arrangement better. And please, dear, bring out the fine china, not the regular dishes. My eyes drift to the already arranged table with its ivory napkins shaped into elegant fans. But I've already. What about the silver candelabras? Skip those glass ones. They appear tacky. I shut my eyes. I'll handle it. You're wonderful. We'll arrive by 7. She disconnects without awaiting my reply. I observe the table I've spent 60 minutes setting. With a deep breath, I start over, storing away ivory napkins and switching them with burgundy. The regular dishes, which others would consider fine, vanish into cupboards, substituted by the vintage Haviland china requiring hand cleaning. When I complete the task, perspiration forms on my forehead despite the cool autumn weather. At exactly 7, the entrance door opens wide. Mother enters wearing her tan pantsuit, pristine despite traveling for hours. Following her comes Haley, my younger sister. Her streaked blonde hair cascades in flawless curls. A lanky man with a neatly groomed beard walks behind them. Elise, sweetheart. Mother gives air kisses to both my cheeks. Meet Haley's latest boyfriend, Cameron. He works in property development. Cameron extends a weak handshake. Attractive home. It belongs to Mother. I explain. I simply help keep it up. Mother's eyes examine the dining area, lips compressed. The floral arrangement is askew. Plus, you overlooked the salad utensils, Haley mentions, sorting through the silverware. I didn't overlook them. I assumed, forget it. Mother gestures dismissively. We'll cope, though next time. Maybe double-check the place settings. The meal I spent hours cooking receives identical criticism. The beef is somewhat overcooked. The vegetables need more spice. The wine should have been uncorked sooner to aerate. I consume my food quietly, acknowledging at suitable moments as Mother and Haley entertain Cameron with tales from their Savannah journey. My existence dissolves into the backdrop until Mother addresses Cameron with dramatic flair. Elise maintains everything functioning smoothly during our absence. You're dependable, Elise. It's not as though you have other commitments. The statement hits like a blow. I clutch my napkin beneath the table. Haley chuckles. Anyway, Dad's funds cover this house. Not like you provide anything meaningful. Mother remains silent. Cameron grins smugly. I retreat from the table, gathering plates with shaking hands. Allow me to assist with dessert, I mumble, fleeing to the kitchen. Standing by the sink, I clean dishes alone while merriment echoes from the dining area. Water burns my hands crimson, yet I hardly feel it. How many celebrations have I organized? How many expenses have I quietly covered when Mother's purchases surpassed her divorce settlement? How many tasks have I completed while Haley shared vacation photos from Florida? I polish a wine glass, studying its perfect clarity. 20 years of identical routine. 20 years of bearing duties while they enjoyed freedom. 20 years of Elise will manage it. Water falls from my fingers onto the immaculate counter. A resolution forms, sharp and immediate like shattered crystal. This marks the final dinner I'll host for them. Monday dawn breaks with overcast skies and light drizzle. My body aches as I walk to work following another consecutive shift. Muscles rigid from resting on Mother's uncomfortable spare bed. I remained the weekend to thoroughly clean after they departed for brunch, without including me. The pedestrian signal turns green. I step from the sidewalk. mind already organizing the day's patient appointments. A horn sounds loudly. I pivot toward the noise of squealing brakes. Time decelerates. A delivery truck slides on slick asphalt, its white exterior panel consuming my sight. The driver's terrified expression shows through the windshield. Contact arrives as an odd feeling, weightlessness, then overwhelming force. My form soars through air that suddenly carries a metallic taste. The pavement approaches. Blackness descends like a theater curtain. Electronic beeping draws me from unconsciousness. My eyelids feel enormously heavy, but I manage to open them to blurred fluorescent lighting. Disinfectant odor fills my nose, combined with something metallic. My mouth tastes of coins and grit. "There you are," speaks a recognizable voice. I blink until vision clears. Joan Reynolds sits forward in a plastic seat next to my hospital bed, her reddish hair loose from its usual neat bun. Dark shadows ring her eyes. She's dressed in scrubs, not from our rehabilitation facility, but hospital-issued. Blue. Not her regular uniform. She's visiting as a friend. How long? My voice sounds rough like sandpaper. 5 days. Joan reaches for a cup with a straw. Takes small drinks. The liquid feels amazing against my dry throat. My mind fights to piece together fragments. Crosswalk, horn, white delivery truck, floating sensation, then emptiness. I attempt to adjust my position. Agony shoots through my right leg, ribs crying out in objection. A sound escapes before I can contain it. "Stay still," Joan advises. Fractured thigh bone, 3 broken ribs, head injury. You're fortunate to survive. Fortunate. The term lingers in the sterile atmosphere. My gaze moves across the window ledge. Bare. No bouquets, no greeting cards. The bedside table contains only Joan's coffee mug and a worn paperback novel. Has anyone else visited? The inquiry emerges before I can prevent it. Joan occupies herself fixing my covers, a warning sign. Joan never fidgets. "Joan?" She exhales, looks directly at me. "I contacted your mother immediately." The quiet extends between us, heavy with everything she's not expressing. "And? Elise." She grips my hand. "Tell me." She said. Joan hesitates, selecting her words cautiously. "She mentioned you'd recover fine. That they had Haley's final appointment, a beauty treatment. My sister required eyelash enhancements, while I remained unconscious in critical care." I focus on the ceiling panels, counting tiny perforations while truth settles. 1, 2, 3, 4. No one visited. I already understand the response. Joan shakes her head negatively. I verified the visitor registry. Something icy moves through my chest. I've spent holidays alone so Mother and Haley could travel. I've covered bills they overlooked. I've cleaned their messes. But this abandonment feels distinct. Definitive. "What about my father?" I inquire. Joan's face shows confusion. "Mark isn't recorded as your emergency contact." A recollection emerges. Mother standing over me years earlier, processing insurance documents after university graduation. "I'll manage this," she declared. "Your father resides across the nation. He'd be useless during emergencies." "Mother always handles the documentation," I murmur. Joan's expression hardens. "Elise? Your father is unaware, isn't he?" I close my eyes. "No, that's incorrect." Her tone develops an edge I seldom hear. "Do you have his contact information?" "In my phone if they recovered it from the scene." Joan stands, resolve strengthening her posture. "I'll investigate." When she returns an hour later, she carries my damaged phone in a small bag. "Personal belongings," she explains, setting them on the chair. I contacted Mark. Alarm flutters in my chest. "You shouldn't have done that." "He was informed you had influenza." Joan's voice stays controlled, but fury flashes in her eyes. "Your mother told him you had the flu, Elise." Tears sting behind my eyelids. I force them back. "He's arriving tomorrow. Reserve the earliest flight from Seattle." The room becomes hazy again. This time from moisture I cannot suppress. The tears feel warm against my cold face. "You deserve genuine support," Joan states, unpacking the bag. Toothbrush, comfortable clothing, my preferred sweater. Items my family should have provided. "That's why I visited your apartment for these supplies." "Thank you." The words seem painfully insufficient. A nurse enters, monitors my vital signs, adjusts my treatment. She places a kind hand on my shoulder. You have a devoted friend here, hasn't departed except to bathe and change clothes. After the nurse exits, I face Joan. You've remained here constantly? She shrugs. Someone needed to be present. The simple honesty in those words releases something within me. A sob breaks free, then another. Joan holds my hand while 5 days of unconsciousness and 31 years of letdowns flow from me. When the emotional storm subsides, leaving me empty and drained, I reach a conclusion. I must visit Mother's house. My voice sounds altered, even to myself. Joan appears concerned. You cannot leave the hospital. Not to stay permanently. I need to retrieve something. I push myself upward despite the pain. Will you assist me? Elise, this is insane. You've just awakened. Please. I meet her gaze. I need to learn something. And I must know tonight. Joan examines my face for an extended moment. The physician won't release you. I'm not requesting discharge. Understanding appears in her expression. You want to leave secretly? I nod. For what duration? 2 hours. Then I'll return immediately. Joan runs fingers through her already messy hair. This violates every regulation. I understand. You could lose your position if discovered. I'm aware of that too. She sighs heavily. Let me fetch a wheelchair. As she moves toward the exit, I call after her. Joan? She turns around. Why are you doing all this? A melancholy smile touches her lips. Because someone should advocate for you, Elise. Even if it's not those who should. Later that evening, the corridor floorboards groan under my weight. I pause, breath trapped in my lungs. My hand presses against the wall for balance as pain pierces my hip. Joan hovers behind me, her presence a quiet anchor in this familiar darkness. Are you certain about this? She whispers. I nod, unable to vocalize. The voices from the kitchen grow more audible, laughter mixed with clinking wine glasses. Mother's seductive laugh, the one reserved for men she wishes to charm, drifts through the air. Raymond, stop that, she coos. What if Elise visits unexpectedly? When does she ever arrive unannounced? A male voice replies. Too familiar. Raymond Green, my mother's former college companion. The man who mailed me birthday cards until I reached 18. The man who mysteriously attended holiday celebrations when Dad traveled for work. My fingers locate my phone in my pocket, shaking as I unlock it and activate the recording function. Joan squeezes my shoulder in wordless support. Regarding Elise, Raymond continues, did you mention I was visiting? Absolutely not. Mother laughs. She believes I'm at book club. Faithful to a fault, that one. Unlike her sister, Raymond comments, voice lowering. Haley resembles me. Mother's voice holds unusual pride. Elise is, well, predictable. Like Mark. Mark still believes Haley is his. Raymond's voice drops to a whisper that nearly stops my heartbeat. Elise never doubted it. She's too faithful. The world spins beneath my feet. Joan catches me as my knees give way, her arms secure around my waist. The phone almost falls from my grasp. His finances still cover this house. Mother continues. All these years since we divorced. Can you imagine? He assumes it's for his daughters. Daughter, Raymond corrects, singular. Their laughter combines. Ugly and intimate. I taste nausea rising in my throat. The hospital called repeatedly. Mother sighs. Apparently Elise is being released tomorrow. I suppose I should visit once before she returns home. For appearances. 5 days and you haven't gone yet? Raymond sounds entertained rather than surprised. What's the purpose? She's just lying there unconscious. Besides, she'll heal. Always recovers. The phone trembles violently in my hand. Joan gently takes it from my grip, continuing the recording herself as she guides me back toward the front entrance. My vision blurs with tears or fury. I cannot distinguish which. Outside, the night air strikes my face like a slap. Joan partially carries me to her vehicle, my body heavy with shock. She helps me into the passenger seat before getting behind the wheel. Oh, God, I whisper. Haley isn't, breathe, Joan instructs, her hand steady on mine. Just breathe. We need evidence. I manage after several uneven breaths. Something concrete. Joan starts the engine. What are you considering? Mother's laptop. She never updates her password. Her email account. And there might be photographs. Elise, you need rest.
No.
The word emerges sharp, unfamiliar in my voice. Take me back tomorrow morning. Mother has her salon appointment at 9. She'll be absent for hours. Joan studies my face in the dim lighting. Finally, she nods. Agreed, but only if the doctor approves another excursion. The hospital room feels transformed when we return 40 minutes later. Less like confinement and more like a command center. Sleep evades me as I stare at the ceiling, planning tomorrow's investigation. My entire existence feels like fiction suddenly exposed. Morning arrives with gray resolve. The doctor disapproves of my request to leave, but reluctantly permits 2 hours after Joan promises professional oversight. By 8:30, we're positioned down the street from Mother's house, observing her elegant sedan exit the driveway. Wait 15 minutes, I direct, in case she forgot something. Joan nods, her typically composed face tense with anxiety. The house stands quiet when we enter. I guide Joan to Mother's office, my crutches tapping against wooden floors. The laptop rests on her desk, closed but unlocked. I lower myself carefully into her chair, the scent of her fragrance lingering on the fabric. Password? Joan asks, staying close. Haley James, 1998, I state without hesitation. She's used it for years. The screen opens, displaying Mother's desktop. My fingers move automatically across the keyboard, opening her email program. I enter Raymond Green in the search field. Hundreds of messages surface, spanning years. Go further back, Joan suggests quietly. Search for patterns. I limit the search to the year of Haley's conception. The results make my stomach churn. Weekly correspondence. Clandestine meetings. Plans altered when Dad returned home, unexpectedly. There, Joan indicates one with a subject line, success. The message contains 2 statements. The test is positive. Mark will remain unaware. My head throbs as I access her photo collections. Most hold routine family pictures, holidays, birthdays, vacations, but a folder labeled RG hides in a subfolder called Tax Documents 2003. Inside, Raymond and Mother on a beach I don't recognize. Raymond holding baby Haley. Raymond at Haley's 5th birthday, standing somewhat apart from the family cluster. We need samples, I whisper, copying files to a USB drive Joan produces from her bag. Something for DNA analysis. I'll examine Haley's bathroom, Joan offers. Hair from her brush would suffice. While she vanishes down the hallway, I continue collecting evidence. Financial records showing Raymond's occasional loans to Mother, birthday cards he sent Haley with strangely personal messages, and finally, a scanned copy of Haley's original birth certificate with father unknown, typed in the appropriate space. Joan comes back carrying multiple strands of Haley's characteristic blonde hair, secured in a small plastic container. I include it with our expanding collection of proof. What are you planning to do with all of this? She inquires as I power down the computer. Her question lingers in the air as I gaze at the USB device resting in my hand. 24 years of deception compressed into electronic files and a few hair strands. Father has a right to know. I respond at last. Everything. We exit the residence precisely as we discovered it. In the vehicle, agony finally surpasses the rush of energy that has been sustaining me. I huddle against the seat, arms clasped around my torso. Hospital. Joan inquires, worry creasing her features. I decline with a head shake. DNA analysis facility first, then shipping. Father must view all of this right away. Joan pauses momentarily, then agrees. Whatever you require. As we depart, I observe Mother's residence growing smaller in the rearview mirror. The immaculate white colonial home, with its perfectly maintained yard, appears identical to yesterday, yet everything has changed forever. Truth, once revealed, cannot be concealed again. And shortly, everyone will witness it. Later that evening, I catch my breath as my door swings open. The figure standing there belongs to a man I haven't encountered face-to-face for almost 3 years. Father enters the illuminated area of my room. his gray-streaked hair trimmed shorter than in last year's holiday card photograph. His shoulders, once wide and commanding in my childhood recollections, now bend slightly forward. Elise. Simply my name, yet it bears the burden of everything unspoken between us. I attempt to straighten up against the cushions on my couch. Pain pierces through my mending ribs. You didn't need to travel this distance. Yes, his voice wavers slightly. I did. He grasps my hand. The rough patches on his palm feel precisely as I recall from his weekend carpentry projects. His blue eyes, so different from mine and Haley's, examine my wounds with an intensity that constricts my throat. The physician states you'll heal completely. His thumb brushes the rim of my hospital band. But that's not our purpose here, is it? I shake my head, grimacing at the motion. Thank you for coming. For trusting me. I trusted you the instant I opened that parcel. His jaw clenches. 20 years, Elise. 20 years I supported a household founded on falsehoods. Father. No. He presses my hand. This burden isn't yours to bear. You've endured enough. We dedicate the following hour to quiet planning. Joan delivers coffee from my kitchen, and we arrange the evidence portfolio across my living room surface. Father studies each document, posing careful inquiries about the sequence of events, about Raymond Green's participation. His voice stays composed, but I detect the restrained fury and the tension around his eyes, the same look he displayed when handling difficult negotiations. Are you certain you want to be present? He asks when we conclude our strategy. I need to witness it. I reposition myself against the pillows. I need to observe her expression when she can no longer deceive. Father nods once, decisively. Then we proceed together. 2 hours afterward, Joan assists me into her vehicle for the journey to Cranston. Father follows in his rental car. My hands shake slightly as I secure the safety belt across my sensitive ribs. The pain relief makes the world somewhat hazy around the periphery, but I decline to take more until afterward. Mother's house, never truly mine, despite everything I've done to preserve it, radiates amber in the afternoon sunlight. The brick pathway I've cleaned hundreds of times extends before us. Father offers his arm, and I rely on his strength as we approach the entrance. He presses the doorbell instead of using my key. The door opens wide. Mother stands outlined in the doorway, her tan business suit replaced by exercise pants and a casual sweater. Her professionally highlighted hair cascades in gentle waves around a face that transforms from bewilderment to practiced joy. Mark, what an unexpected visit. Her smile wavers when she notices me. Elise, you should be in the medical facility. What are you? Is Haley present? Father interrupts, his voice unsettlingly composed. Mother blinks. Yes, she's upstairs. We need to discuss something. All of us. We move past her into the living area with its beige furnishings and meticulously positioned decorative cushions. Every surface gleams with the polish I applied numerous times. Haley appears from the kitchen, phone in hand, her expression souring when she sees Father. What's happening? She glances from me to Mother. Why is he here? Father doesn't await an invitation. He positions himself in the armchair beside the fireplace, his former spot, and places the evidence folder on the coffee table with a gentle thud. Sit down, Janice. His voice contains no warmth. You as well, Haley. Mother's eyes shift to the folder, then return to Father's face. Something in his expression makes her lower herself slowly onto the sofa. Haley stays standing until Mother taps the cushion next to her. Mark, this is quite irregular. Mother's voice takes on the rational tone she employs when avoiding criticism. If you wish to visit, you could have telephoned. Father opens the folder and extracts the DNA test findings. He positions them on the table facing Mother. When our daughter was struck by a vehicle and nearly perished, you failed to appear. His voice doesn't escalate, but each word strikes like a hammer blow. That was your ultimate decision, Janice. But it's not the sole lie you've spoken, is it? Mother's face loses all color as she stares at the document. Haley leans closer, confusion furrowing her brow. What is that? What's occurring? Ask your mother. Father's gaze never departs from Mother's face. Ask her about Raymond Green. The silence that ensues feels like standing at a precipice. I observe as 20 years of meticulously built lies begin to collapse, piece by piece, in the moment between one heartbeat and the next. A month passes, and my phone vibrates against the nightstand for the 6th time today. I don't need to verify the caller identification. Mother's frantic voice floods my voicemail with increasingly desperate appeals. Elise, this is absurd. They're providing us 30 days to leave. Your sister is in hysterics. Return my call immediately. I press delete and adjust the pillow beneath my recovering leg. The hospital bed in my compact apartment feels like a refuge after weeks of turmoil. Sunlight pours through partially closed blinds, creating striped patterns across my comforter. Outside, Providence continues without me. Another vibration, this time a text from Haley. You destroyed everything. Father won't even speak to me. I hope you're satisfied now. I block her number with a single touch. Then I block Mother's. The quiet that follows feels like the first complete breath I've drawn in years. Joan arrives at midday with a cardboard container of empty photo albums and packing tape. Her gray-streaked ponytail bounces as she moves around my apartment, removing clothes from closets and folding them with military efficiency. You don't need to do this, I inform her. She scoffs. 20 years working together, and you think I'd allow you to pack with 3 fractured ribs and a broken thigh bone? Besides, you don't possess enough belongings to make this challenging. She's correct. My existence fits into surprisingly few containers. The modest possessions of a woman who existed on the margins of her own life, a woman who, until recently, believed that was all she merited. Did you inform the administration? I ask as she labels a box, kitchen. Hand it in your resignation letter personally. She seals the box with a satisfying tape rip. Reynolds states your position will be available if you ever wish to return. I don't. Joan nods, comprehending without requiring explanation. Seattle's reportedly beautiful. All that precipitation makes everything verdant. The airline confirmation arrives while we're packing my books. One-way passage to Seattle, departure in 3 days. First class, courtesy of father. Mark, I correct myself, not just my father, but a man who chose to remain when the truth came crashing down. Heard anything from Janice? Joan asks, carefully wrapping my single crystal vase in newspaper. Nothing worth hearing. The local newspaper rests on my coffee table. I don't need to read beyond the headline. Green Pharmaceuticals CEO resigns amid scandal. Raymond fled to his vacation residence in Vermont after his wife discovered his decades-long affair with my mother. The society pages buzz with rumors. Truth spreads like wildfire through circles where reputation serves as currency. Mother accepted a sales position at Bergdorf's downtown location, her first genuine job in 30 years. Haley moved in with friends after discovering her modeling portfolio wouldn't cover apartment deposits. The house in Cranston will be sold once they vacate. The proceeds will finance father's retirement, not their lifestyle. Justice tastes both sweeter and more bitter than I anticipated. The following morning, neighbors from my building appear without prompting. Mrs. Castillo brings empanadas. Tom from apartment 3B carries boxes to the storage unit. Even the building manager waives my final month's rent. You've assisted everyone in this building at some point, he says gruffly. About time someone assisted you. I navigate through empty rooms on my walking aids, bidding farewell to the place that was never quite home. The marks on the wall where my bookshelf stood, the kitchen where I consumed quiet meals alone, the bathroom where I rehearsed conversations I never found courage to begin. On my final evening in Providence, Joan drives me past Mother's house for one last glimpse of the place where I surrendered so many years of my life. The burgundy napkins still rest folded in the dining room drawer. The crystal glasses gleam in the cabinet, soon to be emptied. The carefully maintained gardens will wither without my weekend care. Do you regret it? Joan asks as we pause at the curb. Revealing the truth? I watch a light illuminate in the upstairs window. A silhouette passes. Whether Mother or Haley, I cannot distinguish. Strange how familiar shapes become unrecognizable from a distance. No, I say, surprised by my certainty. I regret waiting so long. We don't linger. Some chapters deserve quiet conclusions. At the airport, Joan embraces me goodbye at the departure gate. Text me when you arrive, she insists, tucking a small gift bag into my carry-on. Don't open it until you're airborne. Security takes longer with my walking aids and medical boot. The TSA agent assists me through with unexpected kindness. By the time I settle into my first-class seat, exhaustion washes over me in waves. The medication I took for pain makes the world pleasantly distant. At 30,000 feet, I open Joan's gift. Inside, I discover a silver picture frame containing a photo of us at last year's staff Christmas party. On the reverse, she's written, "Family is who appears. I'll visit in spring. Seattle has excellent coffee, I hear." Through the small oval window, Providence vanishes beneath a blanket of clouds. The city where I spent 31 years shrinks to nothing. Ahead lies Seattle, with its emerald landscapes and persistent rain, father waiting at the gate, a modest two-bedroom apartment near Gasworks Park, the beginning of something I never dared imagine for myself. A life where I am not an afterthought. The flight attendant offers me a beverage. "Celebrating or escaping?" she asks, noticing my splinted leg. I consider her question as the plane banks westward. "Both," I answer, surprised by my smile. "Definitely both." 3 months later, early morning light spills through my new apartment windows, casting long rectangles across the hardwood floor. Seattle awakens differently than Providence. The air carries the scent of salt water and coffee rather than the industrial tang of my old neighborhood. I stretch my legs beneath crisp sheets, testing the familiar aches in my healing body.
No alarm sounds.
No text messages demand immediate attention. The silence holds a sweetness I'm still learning to recognize. My phone buzzes once, a text from father. "Coffee's ready."
No rush.
6 simple words that never appeared in my Providence life. I move through the modest two-bedroom apartment near Gasworks Park. The worn floorboards feel cool against my bare feet. The physical therapist says I'm making remarkable progress. Only a slight irregularity in my step betrays the accident that shattered more than bones 3 months ago. Father stands at the kitchen counter, his back to me as he pours coffee into 2 mismatched mugs. His shoulders no longer carry the rigid tension I remember from childhood holidays. "Morning," I say. He turns, offering a mug decorated with faded Seattle landmarks. "Sleep well?" "Better." I accept the coffee, inhaling the rich aroma. The nightmares are less frequent. His eyes, so similar to mine, crinkle at the corners. Progress. We settle into comfortable silence at the small breakfast table overlooking the park. No elaborate china here, no crystal glasses demanding precise arrangement. Just 2 people rebuilding something broken. "First day nervousness?" Father asks, nodding toward my new employee badge for Capitol Hill Community Hospital resting on the counter. "Some." I sip my coffee, "but good ones." Orientation begins at 9. "You'll be managing the place by Christmas." His confidence envelopes me like a warm blanket. 1 step at a time, I gesture to my leg with a small smile. The joke lands between us like a gift. His laughter fills the kitchen, a sound I've heard more in these 3 months than in the decade before. After breakfast, I dress carefully in navy trousers and a cream blouse. Professional but approachable. My reflection in the bathroom mirror reveals a woman I'm still getting to know. Shoulders straighter, chin higher. The scar along my hairline has faded to a thin silver line. Father waits by the door with car keys. "Ready for your grand Seattle debut?" "You don't have to drive me. I can manage the bus." Humor an old man. He twirls the keychain around his finger. "Besides, I need to collect those paint samples for the living room." The colors we've chosen together wait in a fan of possibilities on the coffee table. Warm golds and soft greens to replace the sterile white walls. Our weekend project, our space. Not just his apartment where I'm staying. I follow him outside, inhaling the crisp autumn air. Across the street, Lake Union sparkles beneath cloud-dappled sunlight. A woman walking her dog waves at us. Our neighbor from 2 doors down who brought homemade bread last week. In the car, Father tunes the radio to a classic rock station, humming along to Fleetwood Mac. No comments about my hair or clothes, or whether I've gained weight. No subtle criticisms disguised as helpful suggestions. "I purchased shelves yesterday," he says casually as we stop at a traffic light. "Thought we could construct a bookcase for that empty wall in your room." My room? The words catch in my throat. Well, it is yours now. He shrugs, eyes on the road. Figured you might want space for those nursing journals and whatever else you collect. Everyone needs a place for their belongings. My first library. My space. My choice. The hospital appears ahead, its modern glass entrance reflecting the morning light. Father pulls to the curb and turns to face me. Proud of you, Elise. His voice holds none of the hollow praise I grew accustomed to hearing. Just simple truth. I reach across the console and squeeze his hand. Thank you for everything. We're just beginning, he says. I'll collect you at 5. Walking toward the hospital entrance, I feel the weight of invisible chains falling away with each step. The daughter who remained is finally learning how to live.